Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Who Can Win. Last time I paired up Kara.x and GeneX together to ask the question, who can win? This video is going to be a little more complicated to do, and there is a reason for that I'll get into later. So, who did I pair up this time? We have the one, the only, green Xer0phanes, Xer0phanes. And finally, we have Xylon. You might not be familiar with these characters. To give you a quick summary of the both of them, Xer0phanes is basically the original Metal Sonic. He was replaced by a more obedient version after the events of Sonic Heroes. Why did this happen? He got destroyed. That's the reason for it. Eggman didn't know that Metal Sonic made a backup hard drive of himself. This only starts to get worse when the end gets involved. With these two factors coming together, this is what causes Metal Sonic to make his return and become the one we know as Xer0phanes. After gaining a ton of power and destroying Sonic's world, Zero decides to explore the multiverse. Zero realizes that he can now lay back, and he decides to make the prickle, or the pickle. Now getting into Xylon, Xylon used to be a human that went by the name of Hummus. He was tasked with fixing up a pipe before he went home, and what he found inside of this pipe was a crystal, which took him to a completely different world, changing his appearance and becoming the one named Xylon. And let's just say, they wanted to conquer the world. All they had to do was a bit of manipulating, build a castle, murder people, and then they were able to conquer the world. If you dare stand up to them, you're gonna get murdered too. So, what about their abilities? Starting off with Zero, this is where it starts to get very complicated for me. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Xer0phanes doesn't really have a lot of abilities. When you read his story, the only thing you can get from him is that he consumes power. In fact, if you go on Zero's wiki, you're not gonna find any abilities mentioned. Now here's something you might not know about me. I know about the obscure aspects of EXE characters, and I was able to write down this list. I'm not sure if this stuff is a part of Zero's character still, and some of these aren't really all that useful in combat, except for like two of them that I've listed down. When you really strip them down, the only thing you could do is just destroy entire universes, and that's it. It's useful, it's just the only thing he can do. Zero's story doesn't go into much detail to explain his powers. Is there anything else outside of him consuming power? No fucking idea. Xylon, on the other hand, he doesn't sleep, he's always consuming power, he runs very fast, and has the power of electricity. So I think it's pretty obvious on who I'm gonna pick. Let's just see what happens when we bring them into their world and take them out of it. If Xer0phanes ended up in Xylon's world, he's fucked. He's dead. There's no way he's gonna survive against him. Of course, Zero could do a 1-2 fuck you explosion, but somehow, some way, Xylon will find a way to survive it. If Xylon was to enter into Zero's world, I think it'd be possible for him to take over the prickle, sneak around, and then cut him across the throat with his own crystals. I don't know if Zero would be willing to destroy his entire home because this random fuckface showed up. What about taking them into a neutral environment? I still think that Zero would lose. Even if Xylon loses access to consuming power, I still think he's strong enough. To be a little generous to Zero, if we are to consider the idea of him being able to take on the appearance of another EXE, it could be useful. I'm just not sure how far it goes. I've made it really obvious who wins the battle, and it's Xylon. He's way too strong for his own good. If you think I'm right or wrong about this, let me know. Sorry, Zero, you're gonna have to go back to rizzing up the ladies. Let me know who you'd like to see be paired up next for Who Could Win, and I'll see you guys next time, and bye.